Hey guys, welcome back to the cabin. So last time we were demoing some walls and really taking out all the furniture from there. Today is very much more into the walls. As you know, all the furniture got out last time. There's a huge trash pile outside. And right now it's just trying to remove more from the interior to get to the bare bones of this place. So to start with, I threw on this this Tyvek suit because last time, again, washing those clothes and trying to get them all off to get back in the car was really a bad idea. I should have threw on the Tyvek suit last time, which I had. I honestly just wasn't thinking, and I mentioned being in the zone. That stuff happens. Today, basically, I threw down this tarp kind of dumpster, which, by the way, there is no collection system for this in the area, right? This cabin's down a dirt road. This company doesn't exist there. I bought it where I live, and so for now, I'm just throwing stuff in it. You're wondering, and this is a very good question, why am I throwing it in the middle of the house and not outside the house? In hindsight, I probably should have come up with a plan first to get it outside, but in the moment, I was thinking, look, if all this cardboard walls, whatever these things are called, get wet, this stuff is going to weigh 1,000,000 pounds, and I'm already kind of struggling to get it out of there. I can't get a dumpster in there, right? Getting back there with the truck is going to be slow and tedious just to get all of this out at one time. I need a plan. So for now, I was just leaving it in the middle of the room, thinking this made sense. After all of it, I don't really think it made sense, but you know, you kind of make decisions as you go and you power through the roadblocks. I use that speech sometimes at work, right? Like, look, we all hit roadblocks, and so instead of letting it be a complete blocker, just kind of move forward. So for now, I'm throwing all the trash in the middle, which later will suck because I have to get it out of there, and the more I put in there, the worse it gets. But for the moment, it was nice to actually start opening up the living space. Last time I kind of started in, we'll call them the bedrooms. I don't know if that's what they're going to be. But this time I started ripping out the main walls, especially this one. You'll see the braces on this, right? It's got two posts really holding up what I've learned is the roof. And so I've been dying to really get behind this wall to see what's kind of going on. It's a mix of foam board. This is a mix of... again, that cardboard type walls, and then later in the corner actually it turns to this cement board, so you'll see that in the section as well. I didn't actually know that until I really started digging into that we're dealing with 3 different types of walls, if you really want to call the foam insulation board a wall, but for the moment they kind of had it as that. So I started going through, I started sweeping, and this actually made me feel a little better just seeing the inside and seeing what it's actually made of. However, I eventually have to get to this kitchen, and so the whole kitchen that I talked about last time is still there. I'm trying to get some light in this back room, and so that has been one nice part as the wall started to come down. You know, those back rooms only have 2 small windows, and when I say they're small, I don't know if you can really tell in the video, but they are actually quite small, so they're okay. I wish there were windows on the sides, and maybe I'm going to put those in there. You'll see from here, I have that one window, there's nothing on the back wall, and so if it had 2, it would be much nicer in there just to get some fresh light in there really during the day. But for the most part, ripping all this out came down okay. It's again, I used whatever I had, and I took this time with me a sledgehammer just to kind of plan ahead a little better. Sledgehammer didn't really do any much different, to be honest, than the axe or than the shovel. I really can't say one was better than the other. The one issue, I don't know if it'll show up in here, it might show up later, is that when you get to the bottom of this, there's actually dirt in the walls. And so this is probably the first time I've come across that in a demo. Like dirt in a basement, I get. Dirt up against the walls on the outside, I get. It's almost like the dirt had built up to the outside, the roots had gone under. I'm still not quite sure how dirt got on the sill plates on the interior of the cabin, but I don't know. Even when I say that out loud, I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to me how dirt would have built up on the inside. And so maybe I should have zoomed in on that more, but for now, really, I kind of just focused on the walls. The downside is, I think last time I talked about the studs being good, you could see that large stud being ripped out. That thing is rotted, right? So rotted from the bottom. It was just kind of held on by this wall, and that's it. And so if it ripped out and, you know, nothing collapsed on top of me, which it is a support, don't get me wrong, for that part of the ceiling, I just ripped it out for now, and I'll put it back later. When I say put it back, I'll replace it with actually good studs. And a lot of these studs, to be honest, when I started getting to this level, a lot of these studs will need to be replaced. The top is good, as you can imagine, moisture. There, you can see that dirt. You see the dirt in the video? That is, I'm gonna put a little tag for that, but there is seriously dirt that's coming out from the interior of the cabin. First time I've seen that, but there's a first time for everything. So, but because of the dirt, because of the moisture, those studs on the bottom are rotting. The sill plates are rotting, and those studs are rotting. This will go back to somebody in comment just saying, look, it's a tear down, just do that. But I don't know, I'm putting so much work into it. I think those could be replaced, and I'm starting to think actually the structure might be livable once I get everything fully gutted and I start replacing beams and boards and put down proper, proper drainage and stuff like that. So for now, I'm gonna switch to the kitchen, and in the kitchen, this was really exciting to get this out of there. The stove was disgusting. It is rusty, it smells like mice, it just smells. The cabinets, there were stuff inside the cabinets. So some of them, believe it or not, were ziplocked and actually looked 100% fine. I was actually kind of shocked by that. I'll post in a few pictures of the cabinets as well, what came out of there, but the pots, the pans, some of the silverware and all that, basically, I'm not saying I would eat, I would eat off it right in the cabin, right? But you take it back and really like dishwash it, steam clean it. It actually was okay, I thought. Other stuff, don't get me wrong, there was some stuff like cutting boards and all that. I'm just throwing that in the trash, right? There's a wooden cutting board, God knows if a mouse had been on it or whatever, but you're not really gonna get that smell out of there. The kitchen collapsed much easier than expected, which was nice, to be honest. I was worried that it was gonna be a little solid. It is just particle board. It was waterlogged at some point, or at least damaged from moisture. One little hit with the sledgehammer, I thought it was actually going to be like, oh, I'm going to have to hit this thing a bunch of times. Not the case. It all collapsed. And hell, maybe that's what any kitchen would do. They all look sturdy, but maybe if you hit them from the side, they're really not that sturdy. So there was some fun stuff, again, like some pasta, pots, pans. I'll mix these in here so you can see what was clean, what was not clean. But for the most part, again, the kitchen came down easier than expected. Now what did suck is you can hear the noise change. Maybe you can hear that. But this is all the cement board. I haven't actually used cement board a lot. I actually need to research and see what cement board is used for or how it's supposed to be used. My guess is it is not this application to be used for walls. In actually cutting into it or hitting it with a hammer, what I didn't like, it cuts off in very jagged pieces. I'm not saying it's gonna cut you, I'm wearing gloves, right? It's not like I'm removing glass, but it was pretty, at least the paperboard you could kind of just rip off like that. The cement board stuck on there, I don't know, it was nailed through. I'm actually not quite sure how that works either, because I would feel if you nailed into it, it would break. But again, I have to do my research, it's just not a material I used. But it broke off in these really jagged strips. I just thought it was much less pleasant to deal with, and it's heavier to get rid of also, so that's not great for getting rid of all this trash. But in any case, it broke. I was able to go through, hit it. Maybe I should have used a smaller hammer, but I was trying to do at least larger pieces to get it out, and we at least started to see signs of life in the kitchen, which is nice to get behind there. The stove was hooked up with a propane line. And so I didn't bring any power tools with me this trip because I thought, well, look, I'm just going to demo walls and leave it at that. But it actually came back to bite me a little bit, because luckily I was able to go find a tool in the shed that was kind of these larger, I don't know what they actually are. I'm going to call them pliers, but they don't feel that way. But they were these large snips, and so I was able to actually look at the stove and kind of cut it to cut that propane line, because I'm not, the cabin has electricity. I don't really plan on putting propane back in there. I can't really find a reason to do that at this point. So Anyway, with all that being said, started to clean some more walls. This is one funny moment. This is a box of 22 shells that was inside the wall. Again, I'm going to repeat that. 22 shells that looked like they were built inside the wall. How that happens also, not a clue. I mean, there's bullets that came with the cabin, right? There's some shotgun shells, some 22s. I think there's even some rifle rounds or something. Whatever, it was used, you know, people liked hunting, and it is what it is. I don't really mind that. But honestly, bullets inside the wall, I don't know. I just don't know how that happened or why that would happen. Like how you're like, oh, just put them here. Oh, let's put on that wall now and forget about them, I guess. So in any case, there was a bunch of funny finds like that. Last point on this, if you see me bringing stuff back into the cabin, so I kind of cleaned that corner and I realized, look, this garbage has to get out of here because I'm starting not to be able to move. And so I have this big bag, it's expanding, I'm never going to get it out of there. Hence where I started to realize, maybe this wasn't a good plan. The hard part with the porch is you can see that post over there. Those are kind of holding up the porch. Now, if you kicked all those out, I don't know if the porch would actually collapse, but the beams and the way it's sunk into the ground does not make me feel like I feel better with them there. So going around those posts, it's not actually like a really full porch, is kind of rough. It's hard to get bags by there. It's been hard to get trash out there. You have to go around these beams. I don't even know how good these beams are, to be honest, because they're just 2x4s. It's not like they're it's not like they're 4x4s, for example, that they would hold up a whole deck or a whole porch or something. But whatever, for now I'm leaving them there so I don't run into more problems. But this is again where I'm kind of cutting out the stove so I can get it out of there, and at least that'll kind of be a win for the day and kind of where I decided to leave it. Doing this solo as opposed to a friend there took a lot longer, and so, but it's got to be done. I don't expect to have somebody there to help me every single time. It is what it is, and this is what you get when you're buying it. So I was able to get the stove outside, all those walls done, and I just want to say, as always, thanks for watching. It was a successful, there's probably one more demo to get the rest of the walls out, and that feels pretty good, that I can actually start to breathe in there and see it. So thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Sorry it's been so long since a video. It's just a lot of work. Thank you guys.